earlier on, but this time they have their the talisman in the form of Spinks back in the server. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, and he is Mr. Consistent as well as Snacks did play on his endeavors. Let's be honest, Spinks has been a rock solid talisman of this squad, and now. And meanwhile, EF are pushing up on the long side. It's that man Zantares who opens up both his account twice to the P250, and in doing so, A site has fallen for the most part. D has stuck on elevator behind the smokes, but already 3 of his compadres have been put down around him. And realistically, what could he or Spinks possibly achieve from this position? It's gonna have to be kills thick and fast, but instead that smoke will be clearing. Spinks stuck down in the CT side. It's not as if either of them have catwalk control right now. D has surviving for much longer than anticipated, but it's even going to be the clean sweep, Blair. We were just talking about how Eternal Fire have the ability.
Round number 3 have been flawless. So not only do they have the weaponry, they have a lot of money as well to work with, and what a beautifully timed shot coming out from Hades. The flashbang was good. Emor trying to take advantage of the spawn.
Eventually, that time will start to become a bit of an issue for the T's. Oh, hold on a second. Madden, though. Madden is such an important trade, and he's going to come out second best here. Zantares sprayed up through the double doors.
That was Spinks coming to the rescue, and Spinks finally will fall. That's a B-bomb side defender getting taken down, and Madden being down to 26 HP. Does he want to take this duel? A random bullet through the smoke could find him, and is doing trying to put in a few bullets through the smoke, but it's still a 2v4 heavy man advantage here for the side of ENCE.
Shoulder peeking, forces Voxic for the shot. He has to fall back now. Goes back in. The flick is good. Do not peek these 2 players one by one, ENCE. You will get punished. Voxic now is all that remains. There's too many angles, too many targets to come up against.
Winning this round. They do suffer a couple of casualties, though. That is something which is going to be something that Eternal Fire are going to be aware of. And somehow Zantares, blind as hell, I don't even know where that smoke came from, but he will still find Madden.
Snappy on the off angle, afforded this position because he does have backup with Hades on the AWP, plus Dha on the site with a secondary AWP in play. So a stacked A side of the map. Eternal Fire, with all of their players on long, maybe walking into this, that Molotov can easily get extinguished. A well-placed counter flash will stop the T's from spilling out, and Snappy's not had to budge an inch. He can hold position. This is looking like a very scary crossfire, but a flash affords them safe passage for 2 entries. Dha's able to muster up the strength for 1 and add a second to the mantle. Very important double frag from the Polish player.
They have the bomb, then they will retrieve it immediately using the smoke picked up from one of their fallen comrades. So utility still with Eternal Fire, a couple of Molotovs, 2 smokes, no flashbangs. However, kind of clear that Eternal Fire will be heading towards the B bomb site.
It's unlikely to see any flashes come into play here. Spinks with 1. It's a labored spray for the second, but he gets it and nails it down. ENCE players dearly. We saw it there in Spinks on the double doors. Meanwhile, though, Voxic missing that shot, and Hades will punish him. Removes the head. Meanwhile, though, Zantares goes in on the B site, and Spinks has been sent packing, so an early 1-for-1. It will afford Snappy the chance to push up on long doors. And they have been proactive on long so far, Blair, but we haven't seen them push into these kind of positions just yet. Absolutely. Even if Madden just gets like a 1-for-1 trade, Spinks is still going to be activated, you have to feel here. Or pardon me, not Spinks, Snappy, who was on the long side. Spinks that died earlier in the round, of course. 30 seconds left, and now Molly gets tossed in from Madden. So deny the bomb plant, but Emor removes the head. I say deny the bomb plant. That was on the assumption that Madden can stay alive and put pressure down, and now Emor goes from strength to strength, from frag to frag. Dha keeping the dream alive, keeping this round in the scales, but it's been removed.
But a couple of little mistakes being made there. I think it was Madden towards who was playing towards ramp at the A bomb side. He didn't quite time his incendiary.
In the mix, as smoke's now beginning to plume for the cross. Dha wants to go in for that peek, shoots out with the AWP. Molotov there to try and stop the push, but it won't be doing too much on that front because Emor has gone in for the first entry, and Zantares is up close, and he's delivering with more frags. Already up to 11 in total as we just move towards the latter stages of round 8. And I say that because ENCE only have 2 remaining, and with an open play, they do not want to throw this one away.
What a play from Emor. Just running in through the smoke, catching Snappy, and they might just escape with the AK. And there was no way Snappy was expecting Emor to just push in and take the fight with him. And Emor, once he takes him down, and even though Hades gets the trade there, at that point in time, Xantares is right in his face. Uncharacteristic mistakes being made by some of the individuals of ENCE here. It's been punished. Madden once again tucked in close. And once more, he might need help from Spinks. You can see 3 players just waiting behind the double doors here, Vincent. With 35 seconds, they need to make a move.
Oh, pulling a nade out. That's so brutal, but Emo gets both. How? He had no right to get both kills.
Round's done. Or maybe not. Okay, Dia, he finds a kill. That's a bomb drop, and now it's a 3v3.
Kill's huge. It takes a couple more seconds to pick up the bomb and make a run, and now Woxic with the AWP of all weapons up close. Is he going to go for some no-scope shenanigans here? We know he's very capable of doing just that, but he misses the chance, and Snappy punishes him. But in comes Snappy to run into the embracing arms of xFloud in lower tunnels. And now Emor, he's already had so much impact, 34 HP left on his name, but still takes down the head of Hades, who's caught unsuspecting. Dihan now desperately needs this clutch, but he comes out second best, and Eternal Fire extend their lead to 7-3. Those 2 kills he got in mid, for example, a couple rounds ago, were just mind-blowing. Like, they were 2 completely different angles. Speaking of him, he gets the kill on Madden slightly through the wall.
All right, Daenerys, all right, sit down, it's okay. This guy is just doing everything for his team.
A really scrappy and chaotic fight, but it's all utility doing the talking. No bullets required. Smoke down to CT, flash out through, but Hades will get the upper hand onto Xantares. Finally, we're starting to see some of what ENCE have in store, but now Calyx goes in and removes the head of Snappy.
Oh, that's the A-bomb site, completely cracked open. Eternal Fire have so many options available, but time is not necessarily their friend. 35 seconds on the clock, and now Diha, I love this from Calyx, is trying to sell this. He's trying to sell this fake, leaving only Sphinx buys lonesome, and he has to stand tall on the B-bomb site.
He's also not sure if mid's going to get aggressed on as well. Now he can fully focus on this. He's got a teammate holding the middle angle. Emor on low HP once again comes out swinging and connects square on the jaw of Sphinx. On the cross, Woxic has it locked. And Hades has to go for another save. 6 deaths and 8 rounds for Eternal Fire goes to show the kind of game he's had so far.
Absolutely. Like, this was such a good round from Eternal Fire. The way they were manipulating the rotations as well. You saw Calyx, you know, using the utility towards short, bringing out the rotation from the... And they actually have one of the easier groups to ENCE. So for them to kind of... it's still very early, obviously, but for them to kind of be struggling quite a bit over here, it's a bit of a worry, and that shows that they aren't exactly as unbeatable as some people might feel. That being said, though, it's a 2v2 right now as Diha running into the flames.
Like, there's no getting around from it. Maybe Hades going to try and take the initiative here. To be fair, he has been playing saving duties over and over again as parts of the map have just been cauterized and surgically removed. Madden now, though, will be adding to his kill tally. And there is the 2 players we highlighted, Hades and Madden, both chipping in on middle. The thing is, though, although Madden has backed away, it leaves Hades in an awkward spot. That flash does nothing. Baits Hades out, and he will be fragged, but there's the counteractive kill. And D-Hack goes from strength to strength. 2 kills back-to-back. Eternal Fire only have Woxic remaining.
This is unlosable for ENCE. I love the way they're stacked up as well. All the timing. All the timing. Never mind Diha, though.
Showing that they were down, but never truly out. So I don't want to write them off just yet. It's been more, I would say, the nature of how these rounds have been coming down that's been a bit of a concern. And Emor, he gets 2 kills. We didn't see from his perspective the Snappy one was fairly straightforward. How the hell has he got 2 from there?
I don't even... I just can't even visualize how he got that. I saw it, I still can visualize it. That is just so unreasonable from Emor. 134 ADR, 19 kills in the first half already. He has been just a sledgehammer for the side of Eternal Fire. As for ENCE and disadvantage, they have to hold on here. You see the CTs now slowly grouping up together. Smoke the pop. No, actually gonna go for the dry swing there. The flash, though, doesn't blind player. Diha tucked in. They knows another player nearby. Molotov will flush him out. That's a bomb out in the open. And all the CTs have arrived. Spinks, unfortunate to not get the kill, but now it's a 3v3 as Diha's gonna find one alongside Madden, and it's all on Woxic.
Another clutch. This time he's got the AK. This time it's a little bit more doable. But there is Diha on the approach. We were talking about Emo having a hell of a half, but Diha, my God, did he step up in these last 2 or 3 rounds? The ramp side. Now Zantara is going to be picking up the mantle as well. There's still a lot of T's over here, but he removes the head of Hades. And Diha's out in the open, and Zantares will make short work of him. Keep in mind, Zantares had a hell of a pistol round on the first half as well with the P250. I think he got 3 kills in that one.
Calyx lying in wait. Rotation's pretty far away, however. That being said, Zantares slowly sneaking in towards, up towards short. And Calyx makes contact. He finds one, and that should be rotation taking place from the CTs.
Oh, beautiful shot. But Madden comes back with 2 of his own. P250 still in play. There's still enough health. He could feasibly pull this one off, but his teammate, his partner in crime, has been bested. Madden still taking shots. Has the bomb, can get in for the plant. He knows both players are in CT. Doesn't have to worry about any catwalk peek. Now the P250, he's got an opportunity. As they push towards him, P250 in for one more. Madden has every chance to clutch this one out, but Emo's up against him. He's been a man on a mission so far. And can the Turkish player do it one more time? Yes, he can. What an important kill that may end up being.
And Sphinx has no idea. Surely he has no idea, but now he's spotted him out. 2 targets to work with. He's got backups well nearby, but his smoke is keeping Diha at bay. So it's got to be Sphinx doing everything by his lonesome, as he will find Calyx.
Oh, such scrappy flashes and nades being tossed out from Eternal Fire, doing more harm than good. And ENCE, not only have they cracked open the site, they haven't lost any plays. They can trade up all of these guns now. Eternal Fire are in the bin for this round. They have to go safe. And they're going to be caught at spawn as well. They've got Hades to run into, Scout in hand, but he's missed his chance. And he will be splattered as a result, but there is more where that came from. And now Sphinx, 6-11 will be the score. And it looks like Eternal Fire will be afforded the luxury of these 2 weapons going through into the next round.
And from then point on, the round's done. Sights lost. Clean round for ENCE. Eternal Fire, though. They do have those saved weapons to work with. I say that one of the weapons will be taken care of. And a 5-7 from Zantares and a scout from Woxic to answer back. Woxic would get another kill with the scout. And a 3rd as well. What is going on?
Madden's still alive. Still got a chance, but 9 HP to his name. And he gets blown up from Zantares.
I just cannot believe some of the shots Woxic was hitting here. If the first one, great. Second one, great. 3rd one is just unreasonable.
Any shenanigans, and he's about to toss that in right now. Zantares, though, on the other side of that smoke. HE just before it. That's going to do damage. That's going to soften up a few targets. But Snappy goes in for the entry, and Diha will oblige with a 2nd. Suddenly looking better for ENCE here. That smoke's about to clear, and Woxic will get his man. This feels like it's too little too late. And Eternal Fire already pulling the plug and backing out of here.
Crucial entry coming in from Snappy there. Followed up by Diha as well, and they will be punished for the hunt. And if I'm ENCE, you don't really go for more here. I'm saying that, and now it's a 3v2, but no kits in play here for the side of Eternal Fire, and the bomb isn't ticking for quite a while. So ENCE, and what was a 4v3 with the round guaranteed, do lose a few members. They're not going to be super happy with that, but they should still be able to eke out a decent buy. Money still won't be great for Hades and for Snap. You can see there, Hades.
They can't take their eyes off this round and off Eternal Fire, who have proven themselves a worthy opponent. Now the nade's coming in. Flash is good. Forces Zantares off the angle, but he's still alive. Still a threat with the AK. Not for much longer. Sphinx has dealt with him and turns his attention over on the long side and forces away Calyx. They still have Woxic, though, in play with the Molotovs firing around him. They can't deny the bomb plant. Oh, timing, but D has not been punished. It was a deagle as opposed to one of these rifles. He may get caught in the back again here, but it's a USP this time. Down to 25 HP, somehow still alive, and somehow surviving to take another life. But Calyx doubles up with his AK, makes this a little bit more costly. If Madden was to peek out in this angle, he'd probably be fragged down from his left-hand side, but Woxic's head.
And that's okay for ENCE. I mean, it's going to be buy coming in anyway for the side of Eternal Fire. And now ENCE streak of their own, now 4 in a row together as Calyx. So that flash did not blind Hades whatsoever. And that's a free kill for him.
But it did hit Woxic. That's really, really awkward. It was a nice flick as well. That is the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde side of Hades. Emo, though, with his own AWP, is putting it to use one more time. Xantares spotting multiple players tossing through, but he can't escape. I expected him to underarm that Molotov just to stop the push coming in. Good shot from Woxic, though, holds the line. And while Molotovs have been put in position, they've been smoked out. And in doing so, Woxic has to retreat. He has to relocate with this AWP. Peeking back up again, missing his shot. And that will be the bomb now being planted down. Spinks with an important frag, and he will come out ahead. It's only 2 AWPs remaining now on Eternal Fire. Eventually, they're going to have to start going for some of these rounds, considering their economic situation. That's why Emo may be pulling the trigger on this aggression, but it proves to be his downfall. Woxic's still alive with a kit as well. If he can get this next kill quickly, there is a way forward for him, but the flick not on point, and ENCE will punish.
Double op setup still in play here for Eternal Fire, and Emor, he's been time and time just getting away with these opening picks towards the B tunnels, and this time around, is he going to find another one? Yes is the answer, as a danger man for the side of ENCE will fall.
But how much more can Emo do here by himself? Like, he's just having so much impact. That's a great grenade. Touchdown, 50 damage done to D-Hat, 39 onto Hades, $300 well spent, and Xantares softening him up through the smoke, but it will not stop D-Hat from connecting the headshot. The flash is good, and Emo's picked up another 2! This guy cannot miss right now.
I have no idea how Emor gets the second one. That's just ridiculous. Hades walking in through the smoke, trying to be cheeky, leaving it all on Snappy. The captain in a 1v4, as Xantares will put him to sleep.
However, it does put Eternal Fire in the advantage one more time, and the spray from Calyx can only muster up the strength for 1. Does significant damage to Madden, though, and also got eyes on 2 players pushing through on long. So that allows Woxic to hold in position with smokes down. On the car, he can still have impact, but he misses his chance. I think he did catch a glimpse of Hades leaping into the ramp, however, just beforehand.
Hades tucked on in. Oh, Woxic's in a rough spot here. He's got his teammate nearby, though. Smoke is going to be lobbed in by Xantares, but Spinks in the meantime. The look catches X-Floud. Now he knows where Emor plays. They know exactly where Emor is with an AWP as well. So what did he do? They have so many options available to them. Do ENCE. And Spinks, he's doing so much. He's getting so much done by just moving around right now. He's going to be heading towards T-spawn, coming up towards mid, looking to cut off rotation, looking to gather information. As Woxic, what was that?
Holy. That's probably the best AWP shot we've seen all day. That was unbelievable. He just insta shot him through the ramp straight to the head.
It went through the earth.
He's curving bullets now, apparently. He can do it all, can Woxic. And he may be called upon to pull another rabbit out of the hat. A bit more magic left perhaps in his wand yet, but it could be Xantares that makes the entirety of ENCE disappear with this AK. In the meanwhile, 12 seconds to play with this Molotov now is just coming to a conclusion. Not sure how that didn't land. Looked dead on. Sent the mass, but Spinks is going to get traded out. Bomb plant just in the nick of time. And with 10 HP, D-Hat has the chance to be a hero, but Woxic removes his head. Another wallbang frag, and Eternal Fire finding their second wind just when it counts.
From taking their map pick, it looked like ENCE had done enough. It's not quite over yet.
Flashes out, but Calyx has already played this hand one too many times. And Madden, spraying through the smoke, will get his man. Instantly puts Eternal Fire on the back foot. But they managed to come out and break through the shackles last round, but Xantares goes walkies, and Hades will leash him again. Emor, once more though, is proving his worth his weight in gold with this AWP, with these kills, and now Woxic has really woken up. You can see the change, the confidence building up as he gets boosted back onto the site. ENCE run a 5v3 as Woxic gets caught with an incendiary out his pants down. Slight gap in the smoke, but that will do more harm to Emo than good. Leaving X-Floud, the known B player, stuck on CT spawn.
They might opt to even go for just a light investment, some pistols and armor, perhaps, Madden. Oh, the timing, but his position known now. Am I going to be expecting the second player here? He's not. Spinks will find him. Present there, at long as Woxic spots a multiple number of members of ENCE, but not quite able to land a shot.
it seemed like he overthought that. Like there was too many targets. He kind of shot between the middle of them. Meanwhile, though, a bit of tentative play comes out with mollies and flashes, allowing a little bit of safe passage through on the middle side. But Snappy is all alone. He needs a little bit of backup here. If that AWP gets up close, though, Snappy may very well get the opening pick. And our smoke's coming down. It's back and forth. It's chaos. You can see desperately trying to get into the action here. Oh, ENCE, they are going to get their men. Snappy gets 2 as they push through the CT spawn smoke. They get punished, and now Diha drills into the head of Calyx. And all Emo can do is try to hold on to this AWP for one more round on ENCE. You better believe they're going to hunt down this man. They know that he has the AWP. They want to deal with this. The flashbang lands in his eyes, and he is a goner as Snappy goes in for his 3rd kill of the round, and ENCE have him at point. How the fortunes have changed around now in Eternal Fire. Look, could do no wrong in that first half. Started with a 2nd pistol, and then ENCE really started to step up. Those shots not connecting. Looked on, but Hades is going to get punished from Woxic. The leaning tower of Turks takes his head, removes it, and gives Eternal Fire a real hope to take us to OT.
He's going to be haunting the nightmares of ENCE. He's still alive here towards LT.
He's going to get 1, sprays in for a second and spills the bomb down. As has so often been the case, Emo comes out clutch when it's required. And man is going to get pincered and overwhelmed. Spinks in a 1-on-5. Molly tossed in, bomb spilled out, and there's Woxic. We head to OT.
What a round. What a round from Woxic and Emor. Catches 2 players. Oh, that is so huge. They didn't have anything to work with. They had nothing really much to work with apart from this A1. And Emor with a bit of a labored spray, but he gets the job done, Vince. And such an important round to win. They had virtually nothing to work with, and yet they will take us to overtime.
They've done a good job, though, of taking a little bit of control. Flash is good, forces Woxic away.
Great sequence of flashes there. Oh, that is so important. Emor falls. Remember, X-Cloud is very, very low indeed. Hades, he needs backup immediately. Smoke's going to be lobbed in. It's got 2 players nearby as well. X-Cloud, for how long can he stand?
Oh, he's got 1. Why is the AWP going out first? Surely would have traded one of those assault rifles. And X-Cloud on 23 HP was only 1 bullet away from death. And they have distributed that accordingly. Sight has now fallen, has been pillaged and plundered as Spinks removes the head of yet another Eternal Fire player in the form of Zentares.
Still, you do want to keep things healthy. You want not just the weaponry, but also all the utility to work with. But ENCE with Woxic as well, alongside Zentares, the 2 players there. Zentares will just nade Hades straight into oblivion. That's a great opening. And with 40 seconds on the clock, ENCE need to make a decision.
100-0, Blair, purely off utility. Molotov, and then the shrapnel of the HE. Emor will not miss these chances. Gobbles up the kill onto Mad, and Molly down to stop any re-engage. 20 seconds to play with. They know B site is very likely going to be the target. Another Molotov down, just stagnating and stalling this push for so long. And suddenly Spinks is all that remains with 10 seconds left on the clock. And Emor will pivot in for another one. An excellent hold.
As we will be entering the final round of OT, and once more, it's going to be the hold from... This time it's actually going to be Woxic alongside X-Cloud, and a hit comes in. The flashes are good. Woxic, he needs to find 1.
He gets 1, but will that be good enough? Because now X-Cloud is called upon. Flash is good. Spray's not quite on point, though. But now in comes Emor, missing the shot. So much health has been lost, though, from ENCE on the approach. 37 less for Diha, 9 for Spinks. Emor has to dance past the flames, past the fire, to a bit of reprieve. But in that reprieve, ENCE have managed to force the bomb down, still have mollies. Now being tossed out, smoke onto the doors. Another molly tossed in. Really important timing for that smoke to connect. Otherwise, Spinks would have almost guaranteed been dead. But he's dropped down to 6, somehow still survives. Another molly tossed in. But Eternal Fire are going to have to start to pull the trigger and get in here. Hades all that remains now with the AK-47. Has already sprayed in for 1 and misses out on the second. Is there going to be enough time, though? They do have a kit. It's down to the last few milliseconds, but they will successfully retake the B site. 17-16 in the lead come the second half. The CT sides have been worth a lot more in this game. That being said, though, with 16K starting money, it does at least afford ENCE the luxury of not having to worry about economy as much. But Emo with another flick, and it's Snappy that sent reeling this time. Can't take anything away from how he's played here, even if they were to be unsuccessful. ENCE in the meanwhile, though, Spinks missing the shot, but Molly down, flashes in there. Spinks goes back in, and D-Hat through the smoke, perforates onto X-Floud. A good hold from ENCE after losing the first player. Eternal Fire have to push through the smoke now if they want to get onto the site anytime soon. And D-Harris continuing to turn in for kills. Gets burnt to a crisp, but Woxic in a 1-on-3. Close combat AWPing, missing his chance. 24 HP remains now as he's being gradually whittled down. It's Spink's sidearm that seals the deal.
Hurled themselves into that wall of smokes and bullets. They just got massacred there. So Eternal Fire. Nice flashes though. Spinks up close. He's taking matters into his own hands. The second AWP. And he's putting in all the work now. Opening pick, and he's managed to somehow pull off the great escape.
With that Eternal Fire in a bit of trouble now. Smokes and Molotovs tossed into long doors. Blocks away the T's. Will take some mid control, but not for the first time. Middle under hot contestation. Emo. He will not relent. He will not go down. Flashbang is good. The spray's on point as well, and Emo has given them a fast track towards the B site. They still have Spinks to contend with, and he will hold the line for dear life. Leaving Calyx in a 1-on-3, and Snappy shuts him down from the back rotation. ENCE have another map point. One of them is Emo though, and he's worth multiple players at this point. Keep in mind, he's their IGL as well. Like, he's carrying so much on his shoulders. Calling, fragging, entering, everything you need. And he may be called upon one more time, but Spinks will put an end to that. The rallying cry comes out from ENCE. And now Eternal Fire stuck behind smokes, are losing players at an alarmingly fast rate. X-Floud and Calyx remain, but X-Floud has found the head of D-Hat at least, and they know a second contingent player was up on Goose. However, that is Spinks, and Spinks has really come alive with the AWP in this OT. Flashbang is good, and the follow-up damage is there as well. ENCE have got it. It was a marathon. It was a slog. Some delicious Julies potentially to dismantle ENCE on the approach. Here comes the grenades, and Emo gets one, but does get traded out. Calyx and Zantares, though, both come in as well, and Spinks, it's labored. He does get the kill, but it's at the cost of his life before Hades comes back in with one of his own. He's been tagged down to 72, but still has a chance here. Knows where one of these two players are. It's about the second player. There could be a bit of a problem, and Woxic's about to show his hand, and he's about to close the eyes of Hades.
A few smokes to be purchased and used, but that being said, minute and 24 seconds on the clock here, Vince, and they have only one flash and a smoke left to work with for the side of ENCE.
Yeah, and I feel like on the T side, Molotovs are so important as well for executes, especially on the A side for this reason. Emo now is not going to be affected, stuck on top of the hut. This feels like a foregone conclusion now. You have no flashes, no smokes, no mollies to push out on the site with. It is dry, and Spinks on 8 HP will be the final player left. And I don't think he's got too much left in the tank. Down he goes.
And for ENCE, they didn't even use any smoke. I don't think they even had a smoke to extinguish the flames. And not even able to do a combined damage of 100 on towards the Eternal Fire members. This is much faster from ENCE on the buy round as well. Quickly pivoting towards lower bomb side. X-Floud, though, instantly decapitates Spinks.
That's a good sign as well for Eternal Fire, because he had a very lackluster game on Dust 2. He was often on the B site all alone, to be fair, but he didn't have the kind of impact you liked from him. In the meanwhile, though, they've managed to brute force their way into a post plant. And with smokes down, even though the deck may be stacked in favor of Eternal Fire, this is still going to be a rough retake to look in for, because they could be tripping over one another. HG out with a flash as well. But this SG could go above and beyond. Hades finally gets a kill alongside Madden, and there's another one. Everyone falling down on the approach now from Eternal Fire, but Zantares tries his best to keep it alive.
Calyx on almost 7k as well, so money's not going to be a problem. The buy is going to be coming in, and the opt out as well from Mr. Woxic, because Zantares once again continuing to be a problem here for ENCE on the outside position, but he will be traded by D-Hat.
He's often being just kind of dangled on the end of the fishing rod here. He used his bait, but he's always getting at least one kill. 13 frags. And we're in round 8. Goes to show the impact he's had. Hades, in the meanwhile, though, puts an end to Emor. That will allow Madden to quietly drop down the vents. They may have no idea that this is a possibility. Yes, it was smoked, but Calyx was stood right there. And although Woxic may have got the first, he would have been swept anyway, and Madden just puts the bullet in his head with a Galil. Hades turns the knife, and it looks as though ENCE will be doubling up their round tally and 2 rounds on the bounce. xFloud maybe do a bit of damage on his way out, but man, some of those entries, Blair, were lightning fast.
For Eternal Fire, despite losing 2 in a row without saving any weapons, they still have so much cash to work with.
Yeah, that's just how comfortable and easy it was for the first 6 or so rounds, but they have lost more from Madden. A man possessed, a man aggressive, and Calyx, though, will stand his ground. Valiantly sweeps aside 2, giving Woxic a chance now to clutch the rest as he goes round the silos, should get the backstab in, but Snappy has snuck his way down to the B site. 70 HP remains, but he's in a 1-on-3. Just changing the angle of the door gives him a little bit more cover. A hit and run, knowing that one of these players spots the second, but xFloud will not miss his chance. And Eternal Fire have stabilized once more.
That he saw a pixel from Madden and he was just jiggling around the corner. Hades, though, with the op, he's got to find Woxic early on as ramp control being contested here.
Xantares again, though, man. Outside has just been his domain. It's been his battleground. The landlord evicting ENCE time after time. Hades not falling for that shoulder peek. There's a player to his right. That's xFloud, though, and he gets baited in. xFloud pushes him out of the round, and Eternal Fire again have the advantage.
A little surprised that Hades got a little overeager. He had a teammate nearby, which was Spinks. They could have grouped up together, try to go for a trade perhaps, but yeah, xFloud punishes him. So despite getting the opening pick, Eternal Fire bringing it back. Outside control, as you said, firmly with Xantares, but Snappy has snuck his way inside the control room. So this is something to work with. This is some information they have to work with. But the only avenue here, seemingly for ENCE, is to come in from the ramp position. It's Snappy trying to catch xFloud off guard, and now he knows the jig is up. He knows where they're coming in from. And he's going to find 3, almost the 4th as well, as Xantares will steal the kill away. But what a hold from xFloud. As we head to the final round of the first half, 12-2. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no need to check your eyes. That is indeed a scoreline. Eternal Fire have put up a mountain of a defense here against this ENCE T-side of nuke, and they're looking to make it 13 wins. This has been a masterclass from the Turks.
Oh, they've played this so well. ENCE, though, haven't shown up, but Eternal Fire have been...
Their defense is really, really solid, don't get me wrong, but they have almost no margin of error as Spinks. Final round of this first half. Is he going to come alive? He's only on 6 kills here in 15. I mean, in 15 rounds. And a 3v2 with the bomb getting planted. There is a chance ENCE might be able to steal away around number 3.
There's certainly a possibility at this point, considering how dead and buried this round looked just a few moments prior. They have decent post-plant positions as well. Spinks can play off Hades' contact or vice versa here. Time already dwindling, about half of the fuse remaining. Hades has lost his teammate, sprays in for 1, but there is Calyx and another successful retake. Eternal Fire have been so good when it comes to these B-site retakes.
Get the opening pick, and the moment he gets taken down, the trades are instantaneous. This has been a beautifully played CD side coming out from Eternal Fire, and here we go, a fast hit coming in towards the upper bomb site.
ENCE need their first pistol round of the series, and Madden gets 3 kills with the Julies, make it 4. On for the ace. He's just destroyed Eternal Fire. Blinking you to miss that round. Spinks denies the ace. Not that they'll care, because they finally have their hands on a pistol round.
Julies fans rejoice. Oh, that was incredible. We didn't even see a single kill from his POV. The flash was there. Catches the first. Okay, this is so quick. The third one as well. I think he even got the third kill with the recoil of the bullet. And Snappy. Alongside Hades, pretty low on funds, but the AUG in the hands of Hades. He likes to scope rifles, Vince. Did have a bit of a struggle on the T side with the SG, but he's making that AUG look good, at least here early on in the first buy round coming out from Eternal Fire. Can ENCE hold on against a full buy here. That's the first challenge of many in this half. But we did sing praises of this defense from ENCE on Nuke. And this is going to be a real challenge. This is where they show that what we said was true. This is where we get to see what this defense can do for ENCE. And speaking of defense, Hades is doing everything by his lonesome, seemingly. They're just going for the dry swings, the dry fights. And at that range, the AUG, it's going to come out on top.
Yeah, Taylor made for those kind of angles. Interestingly, you took the SG on the T side, now the AUG on the CT side. So, all about the scopes. And yeah, ENCE, the CT side, we know it's a known quantity how good it is. Is it good enough, though, to come back from this deficit? So far, so good. Spinks, keeping the MP9 even though he had 6,800 when you're this close to defeat was an interesting decision. Emo in the meanwhile, though, 16 HP has been finalized from Snappy's downstairs, but Snappy on the receiving end of Calix's AK. And that could open up business to the B site. Dha, though, has at least came back with one of his own. But it is going to be a post plant. Meanwhile, Woxic, though, comes out second best in that spray. Hades really shouldn't be getting the upper hand from that angle. But now Calix and Xfloud, who had so many big rounds on that CT side, have to go above and beyond once more. How many times do we see Eternal Fire successfully retake the B site? Spinks, in the meanwhile, though, will finalize onto Calix, who was low. And now Xfloud at least has the bomb plant for his position, but they must expect this one as the spray is in, and neither of them were checking decon. That is an area that has to get looked at, and ENCE have paid the full price. And he's looking for that angle, and this timing may work out in his favor. Antares has no idea he's about to be a goner. Does spin around, which would have been a bit of a jump scare for Spinks, I'm sure. But he still put the bullet to where it counted. Now Madden from above, solid damage. Dha gets traded out from Woxic, but Xfloud is turned away before Emo makes moves up on heaven. They have no idea about this one. Emo's biding his time. Spin around from Madden, but it's too little too late. Now the spray's good. So much damage done to Hades, who's finished off 2-on-2. And ENCE with 25 seconds to try and deny this bomb plant. A low Calix is finalized, but Woxic is still in with a chance. 15 kills to his name. Spotting the first player on main. But now here comes Snappy in the meanwhile. Gonna go in for that wide swing. Woxic removes him, but there's the wall bang from Spinks. ENCE get it done, but it's at great cost.
Trying to mount this comeback. They've at least cut the deficit in half, but still a long way to go. 14-7 is still heavily favoring the side of Eternal Fire as Emo dropping in from above, and they're just shutting this one down. Their upper bomb side is getting cracked open, and Madden has to go big.
Madden has been such a huge component of this ENCE team on Nuke. 19 kills. But they find themselves a player behind. It's going to be a wide swing in as well from Snappy, who does get one. Antares splatted from the A1S. But two of the Turkish teammates have pushed down onto the B site. At post-plant positions, Xfloud will be behind the silo. And his teammate just ahead of him. Woxic down to 65. Snappy playing with his food, gets punished. The spray, not quite there. Grenade up and over. Won't be landing. USP only for Madden on 31 HP. And Woxic on 38, he's biding his time and waiting. He does have a kit, smoke down though, but if one bullet connects through that smoke, this round is a done deal. There's a slight gap in the smoke as well, but so Woxic misses, but he doesn't get punished. Madden misses out on the spray, and our Eternal Fire have 8 map points.
And what a statement it's been from Eternal Fire. This could have been 2-0 for Eternal Fire. In all honesty, if you look at the way Dust 2 played out, and they're not quite done yet. Spinks with a sole M4A1 able to find a kill as Zemo is trying to hunt down Hades. Or rather Madden, excuse me, but he will be found. So 5v3 here early on and a rifle retrieved. ENCE are not quite done yet.
Oh, this could be going on a little bit longer. Hades finding some purple patch with that deagle, but Calix, it was a monster on the CT side, showing that that was not a fluke. That this T-half is just as solid for him. 50 seconds on the clock. Bomb still under control on Eternal Fire, and they're looking to try and make something happen through on the ramp side. Meanwhile, Calix is anticipating that maybe some rotational play comes in. Try and catch one of these CTs as they go in for these plays. Which is a wise decision. They still have time to use here. Molly down, but it seems like it's more of a ruse. Dha, though, splatters Calix with the deagle, and Woxic gets dinked down to 9. And considering there's a Galil in play in both the remaining ENCE players, that should be good enough to yield this round. Woxic going to be caught with the bomb out, sprayed out of his misery, and ENCE have saved one, but there's 7 more to go.
Hunt him down, but that's ramp control arrested here by Eternal Fire.
Man, that's ridiculous. Snappy survived that on 2 HP. I have no idea. He's finally gone down, and he's got caught a couple times with grenades out, switching weapons. And that's put his team in a very awkward position here downstairs. All 5 players healthy. All 5 players hungry to get this map finished off. Hades, though, is going to give them a lifeline, which is taken away from Emo. As he flatlines Diha with his AK, still in position, but will be coming out second best. Xantares there as the strength in numbers approach comes in, and Hades with it all to do. 1 on 3 with the AWP, and Xantares puts him down. Eternal Fire have just taken down ENCE on Nuke. That's a very good point. A very good point indeed to highlight. I think Eternal Fire can feel very confident about their opportunities and chances here coming forward on the CT side. They'll be moving in. ENCE, meanwhile, though, exploiting the short lack of presence, but not getting any kills so far. Pushing into the side, Emo holds the line for 1. Does spill the bomb out, but it's now going to get planted down all the same from Spinx. And with smokes in the eyes of Eternal Fire, they can't do much. I say that as Woxic puts a bullet in the head of Spinx, and that awry bullet is going to give them an advantage on this retake.
Huge advantage smoke room as well, but smoke is not on the bomb, and that means they have to go for the wide swing, and this is messy. Oh, this is so messy from ENCE. Emo and xCloud that just chip on in, and Snappy left alone in a 1 versus 4, and there's absolutely nothing he could do. Clean retake coming in from primarily on the CT side, but it found so much success. And ENCE, they should be aware of that as well. Early find from Calyx. It is, of course, just the pistols being purchased, though, for the side of ENCE.
Yeah, I think on the talent predictions, everyone said that they fancied ENCE to win this game. I'm trying to remember. I think everyone did go for ENCE. Understandably so as well. In this round, though, Diha has connected a headshot onto xFlow, but it's already at the cost of 2 of his teammates. And although he can pick up that M4, he's already been spammed down. However, Hades on the prowl behind won't be required. And that's great news, actually, because that now allows Hades to position up close. He hasn't given his position away here. Because Diha finalized this, he's going to have the drop. They have no idea that he's up close in this position. But although Diha's now making moves in, if Diha's spotted and fragged, they will still be uncertain as to a second player's presence. And that allows Hades to go for the wide swing, but he comes out second best. Diha now in a spot of trouble. He's got players above him, 1 on CT side, bombs ticking away all amongst this now, though, but Diha shows his hand. And he pounces in for 2. It could be a 3rd as well, but Woxic will be able to deal the fatal damage to him. Does have a kit, does have a bit of time to play with, but now he may have run out, and he's run out of health anyway. Spinx will put an end to that. Diha already having more impact in these first couple of rounds.
For the time being, it's only on Emo. FAMAS in hand. Molotov, that's a giveaway we're coming in for, but it's such a deep molly that it means he can take this fight, but he will be punished.
xCloud now has to go above and beyond, runs out of the ammunition. You see it again, those extra 5 bullets could have made a huge difference. But Eternal Fire, do they even want to go for this with their weapons, with their money situation? I think they're going to save here, Blair. I think they're giving this one up.
Woxic, there's no need for him to go on poking any further. Hades is going to lie in wait, plucks his head off. That was a bit of a mistake from Woxic.
Flash up and over, but Calyx through the smoke is going to pounce in with the M4. If any kind of flash precedes this peak, it could be curtains for ENCE. As they go around slowly, and Xantares will show his hand, but it's snatched away with a flashbang. Runs out of ammunition, runs out of health, but Woxic's there with the AWP. Is keeping ENCE in an awkward position as he falls back. Still 4 players on the CTs remaining with 20 seconds to spare. Madden will be forcing the plant down. There's no grenades to deal with him either. So not only will he get the plant, the Molotov was too late, allowing him to back out of there. But they do have xFlow, the ace up the sleeve, the ace in the hole to try and pounce in, and he'll do just that. Leaves Madden in such an awkward position, and Calyx will finalize. So they do concede the bomb plant, Blair, keeping 4 players alive will allow them to trade up to 3 AKs.
Break the money here for Eternal Fire, but because they kept a lot of members alive, they will still have a bit of cash in the bank, will be out. ENCE, though, down to what could be the final buy if they lose this round. But Madden this time, Xantares will be caught. Calyx looking to perforate someone through the smoke. Madden waiting with the edge. The flash is good. How is Madden even alive? I don't know, but Calyx replies back, spinning around and finding Snappy and bringing it back to equilibrium. It's a 3 versus 3.
Once again, Calyx on his CT side is having so much impact, but Woxic watching the wrong angle. Fends off from Diha, who riddles him with bullets and looking to try and turn the screws again, but it's Spinks. Mechanically removes Calyx from the server. And xFloud with just an AK to his side and $2,700. Kind of touched on it just before, Blair. Their money is by no means stable here. So Eternal Fire have got to bite the bullet. They have to save. And ENCE had 5 rounds in a row.
Even if they saved like a couple of guns, the rest of them would have to maybe go for a full spot with pistols and armor and just go for a full save.
Emo in the meanwhile, though, we've already seen these kind of plays a couple of times from him. He likes to get aggressive through a middle, but they've already conceded the kill on xFloud. And because he was their only B defender, it is forcing away an over-rotation.
Yeah, and I'm sure ENCE know this as well. And I love how, despite getting the opening pick, they're not getting over-eager. They're slowing it down. Diha finding the B bomb set, tossing in a bit of utility as well. And here comes the push. This is huge for Emor, actually catching Hades. So, despite losing the man early on, they bought themselves a bit of time. Woxic, how did that even miss? What?
Did he move maybe just before shooting? That's the only thing
Perhaps.
I can think of. Either way, thank their lucky stars that they didn't get nailed by that AWP shot, because now 4 on 4 with a potential take, they have sped up the process. 50 seconds on the clock, and Eternal Fire seem to have a very good read of the situation. Multiple players stacked over here. Smoke on side, but Emo's playing behind it. Flashes are good, but Calyx's spray lets him down. Emo tries to go in for 2, but it's only 1. And Xantares has been split apart as well. Woxic missing a very important shot. Gets the second though. Now D has less alive. He knows he's on the site and just flicks up. No defuse required because Woxic locks it down by himself.
We were questioning how that even happened. Maybe he moved. The second shot missed as well in the 1v2, but then he makes up for it. What a tap from Diha to open things up, but good resilience from Eternal Fire. Despite the fact that Diha and Spinks are almost able to crack this one back. And Woxic with a 1v2 clutch. I'm not too surprised he even went for that fight there in a 1v1, hoping to catch Woxic off guard, but Woxic too quick. Nice flashbang, but a belabored spray for Emor means he won't really have too many bullets remaining in the magazine, as Snappy will find xFloud.
I'm surprised they just ran up the ramp like that with their grenades out, honestly. That was nearly a complete disaster. Diha, the timing does readjust just before Emor was able to pass a bullet between his eyes, though. Woxic,
I think he's got an inkling. With 30 seconds, they need to go for the play. Xantares, he just turns away, but now he knows he hears them, and he's going to find one, not the second, though. Snappy shouldn't be able to win this round, and it's all down now to the final man, and Calyx is ready and waiting.
Hell of a turnaround on the side of Eternal Fire, but they cannot afford to take anything for granted. Well-placed smoke, and Woxic taking damage through that smoke as well with the AWP. Peeks out, there's a gap in the smoke. Did he just flick up and hit Hades? I think he did, but it's at the cost of his life.
But there was everyone tucked on in, and they heard the drop down, Vince. They're going for the wall bangs as well, but this is uncomfortable for Eternal Fire.
This is really uncomfortable. They do have 2 players, though. Xantares, pixel perfect on his aim. He's looking to try and give some free haircuts. Gets 2. And now Spinks gets 3 of his own. And losing minimal damage in the process. Is looking to go above and beyond. Pick up a 4th if he can. DR in the meanwhile, though, going to be going for the peak. And Spinks does secure his 4K. Beautiful round from him.
Let's find out now. No AWP this time around for Woxic, though. Just the M4s. There's Calyx. Okay, just lines it up to perfection. Finding Madden, who has been a bit of a demon in his round position. And they know where Xantares likes to play. They know exactly where he likes to play. And Hayden in a pre-fire, able to find him with no vision as Calyx gets his 2nd kill through the smoke. So maintaining the man advantage for his side.
Xantares has gone down, though. He's been typically a huge bastion of hope. Emor in the meanwhile, though, making short work of Diha on the approach. And although flashes do come in, he's able to relocate up close. The smokes give him the luxury of being able to fall back as well into his teammates' arms, but it's Snappy that rips him apart. Minute left on the clock, 2-on-3. Molly down onto the side, gonna try and stall this a bit longer. But there are counteractive mollies also tossed into the generators. Stops X-Cloud from peeking the left-hand angle. So Spinks can feel comfortable going for this full-on plant. And Snappy has his back covered. In terms of the utility, there's only a smoke between the 4 players here, but Woxic has alleviated the pressure. The spray nearly puts off 2. But it doesn't matter because Eternal Fire, they're probably not going to get that much freedom. And so that's maybe where ENCE start to extend their lead and really apply all the pressure that could be required and win this one out. Hades, that flick is delicious. And Emo is going to lose his life on ramp. Still 4 players here, though, to push in abruptly if the call comes out. But there is a flashbang, which is going to be peeked into. And that's Hades, who goes in for more, but he whiffs his spray this time. And Xantares, even though he's fully flashed for a couple of seconds, will somehow survive.
I'm a little surprised Hades really went for the deal, considering how low he was. But still, 4v4 now. There's Eternal Fire. They're making the intentions very clear.
Well, there's no second guessing this, is there? They have the cross from Snappy, but he's all alone. He is isolated from the wall of smokes. As Xantares takes out the sledgehammer and applies it directly to the forehead. Post-plant comes in as well. CT stuck behind the side, but Madden's giving them a lifeline. Madden springs in for another one. And seeing an extra play on the sandbags, they know where the 2 remaining Ts are. And now that those positions have been compromised, it's all down to Xantares to have impact. And although he does get 1, Madden is there to trade again. Already with 3 kills in this round and make it 4. Beautiful round from Madden. And ENCE will have enough time for the defuse. The tests are not over just yet. They will have a reprieve after this round, assuming that they get it done convincingly. But this round is certainly going to be a difficult one. And Emo lines them up. The timing, it looked like they wanted to try and go for a flash, and he gets a 3rd as well. He's just off to the races, taking heads left and right. And we were talking almost like ENCE were the firm favorites to take this round, where they've been obliterated.
Oh, get wrecked. What was that from Emo?
Although, to be fair, I don't remember him using the AWP very much on Nuke, and he still had a good performance there. He's using the AUGs, the SGs. Spinks has been forced out of position. Molotov down on the window. And the T's try to vacate the premises, but D catches them on the cross. He will lose his life, though, as a result. 1-4 trade may not bode very well for ENCE, but another perfectly timed flashbang as Spinks runs out of ammunition, but Madden's there to back him up. Emo gets aggressive, but Snappy will be dealing the fatal damage. And now Kalak stuck on the site, goes in for 1. If they peek him 1 by 1, he could very well clutch this one down. They nearly lined up. 36 HP for Hades remaining.
Which the first time I saw it did catch me off guard, but this is something which they have opted to do. Which is worked out for them as well. We know how good he can be. In the meantime, Emor won't find much success, as Snappy will take him down. IGL versus IGL action. The Dane coming out on top.
A flash is good, though. And Spinks panics, takes the shot, gives his position away. Still alive, has backup from Spinks alongside D-Hat. And with a smoke down on the boxes, now he can reposition D-Hat up on the boxes. Meanwhile, Madden has put down a frag. Nice little comeback, though, from Eternal Fire. They're not completely out of this round just yet. Woxic on 17 kills, already with 2 in this round. 50 seconds left, and he's rotating up the ramp and has his eyes trained on A site. The position here, though, for Snappy is massive on the approach. Does he really realistically expect Snappy to be in this spot? He gets drawn away from the position as the AWP shot comes out from Spinks, trying to bait him, lull him into a false sense of security. He had the right idea, but Snappy was too quick.
Win on Nuke was a statement. And sure, there's a caveat. Dia had a quiet game and whatnot, but those are just excuses. They got completely dominated. Speaking of dominated, Emor not really finding much here, and Hades, dangerous game, but he will manage to find himself some safety. He's going for a little bit of a jump peek there on the sandbags, and that is something that Woxic could catch if he goes for it again. Hades, you better not. You better not. And Woxic, if he just held the angle. If you watch someone like Zyru hold an angle, Vince, you just hold onto the spot where he is going for the jump, but hold on. What is that? Hades and Snappy just taking the fight.
Meanwhile, though, that is 5 match points. Meanwhile, by the way, Fours did win the game against Outsiders. As Xantares, though, puts down the first frag in this match and a second as well. Gonna try and hold on to this game. Make sure it doesn't slip away just yet. Spray transfer slightly awry. Nice effort from Madden. But Spinks has now spilled the bomb down. ENCE have a chance.
Let's have a chance. Backup has arrived as well. Good flashes and utility getting deployed. Spinks at the crosser a little bit too high, trying to go for the wall bang, but then the double nades though, and it could actually do a lot of damage, but won't confirm the kill.
Oh, Xcloud 20, Emo 36. They don't know this though. Must have a good idea though. Grenades on the site though did rip through the health bars of at least one player. They do have a smoke. They do have a kit. They also have a flashbang. Where do they position this though? Spinks is still stuck on the back boxes. Flashbang through. Frag not forthcoming. And yet this is where Spinks can toss the smoke in and back away. Keep that AWP alive. They have tons of cash alongside it, but they want to play for the bigger picture, the longer haul if they need it. Oh, the timing is so brutal though. And Emo will be able to pick up the AWP.
It's not going to be easy, Vince, but we've seen stranger things transpire here. Xantares tucked on in, avoiding the spam from Snappy. Very smartly done by Xantares. And getting early control of the scaffolding position, but there is a player lying in wait nearby. Flash is not good though. Hades tucked on in. Spinks is to find a second kill as well, and only 3 remain for ENCE. Make that 2.
Oh, they're dropping like flies right now, and although there's a bit of a resurgence, Snappy puts an end, and it's fitting as well. He had such a good CT side, and ENCE will move through to the winner side of Group C.